Hi, I'm Dr. Valerie Baker and you're watching my vlog. Thank you so much for being here, for watching, reading, and commenting. I encourage you to go back to the previous vlogs where you might have left a comment and read my response, and also read other people's comments and my responses to them. I appreciate you sharing and asking questions. It's such a beautiful, enlightening conversation that's unfolding. It's all about taking charge of your life so that you can reclaim your birthright of happiness, fulfillment, and abundance, regardless of your life's circumstances. Thank you for following along with the circumstances of my life unfolding. I so appreciate your support, and I'm here today to share exciting updates. First of all, we moved back into the house after over 4 months of being away. Uh, Many of you asked, well, how come we had to move out? It was for medical reasons. We had to complete um, a remediation, restoration that had to do with environmental factors affecting my husband's health. And those factors are very widespread and present in 50% of dwellings in the United States, but they're very little talked about, even in the medical field. I want to say maybe especially in the medical field, unfortunately. So if you would like to know more, just ask me in the comments and I will share with you about these environmental factors, what we now know. We now know a lot more than I ever wanted to know about this. But we're back in the house, and this is exciting. I'm recording this in my office, in my studio. And another exciting update is that according to my 6-year-old daughter, I am famous. And the reason for this is that my new podcast called In Charge Show is live, and you can access it on my website. But the best place to listen is iTunes or Stitcher, depending on if you use Apple or Android products. And the reason being is that you can subscribe so that the episodes get delivered automatically, and it's free, of course. We interview women, I interview women, we have conversations, women from different walks of life, and the theme uniting them all, the theme of the podcast is women who won't settle. They won't settle for anything less than the happy, fulfilled, and abundant life they were born to live. And in order to not settle for less, they overcome really challenging circumstances regarding relationships and health and career and business. And they candidly share on the show. I'm so grateful to have these amazing, fantastic guests. And from what I'm hearing from early listeners, the show is really resonating with people who are finding inspiration and useful tools in our conversations. So please, you can go to inchargeshow.com. There's also a link right here on my site. And if you like the show, please leave us a 5-star review and share, most importantly, share with other women who won't settle so that we can create this high tide that lifts all boats. And today I will share with you more about what begins to happen when you refuse to settle. I'll talk a little bit more about how our society conditions us to settle and how that becomes the status quo and how that becomes really an addiction that we need to break. It becomes a spell that we need to break. I shared with you in the last 2 weeks vlogs about the first of such spells that our society casts on us, and this spell is stress, or the way I define stress is resisting reality. So today I'll talk to you about what happens when you start to break this stress, what magic becomes accessible, and what traps to look out for on the other side. All right, so as usual, I'm reporting from my own in the lab. As I've been sharing these tools with you, I have been using them as well. And if you need a refresher, please visit my last week's vlog. I talked about the tools for your mind, your body, your breathing, and the behavior. And as I might have mentioned before, I don't like to work uphill. I don't see the reason to work harder than we need to. So I'm looking for the most bang for my buck, for the easiest entry point that will create the biggest change. And for me, in terms of combating stress, and most people I know, breathing is really the most powerful and the most accessible, the most immediate tool you can use. And once you're breathing, is steady, your nervous system gets a signal that all is well. All is well. You don't need to say that in affirmation, although you can, more powerfully than the words is the direct message of your nervous system that all is well on the cellular level, the body level. Because what happens when we just say the affirmation without shifting the nervous system, it creates this cognitive dissonance. The mind is saying one thing, but the body is saying another thing. And guess which one wins? The body always wins. The body always wins. Unless, I don't know, unless we have developed these very advanced yogic techniques that completely override the functioning of the body, such as, advanced yogis said to be able to control the work of their liver and their heart and their metabolism. If you're there, by all means, I'm not. So for me, shifting the body into a more relaxed state translates instantaneously into more relaxed thinking, by which I mean not lazy thinking, but thinking that's creative and open to possibilities. It translates into behaviors that promote staying present with my life, with what's happening. And you might have heard me define happiness this way before. Happiness is being fully present with what's happening. So for me, regulating my breathing and relaxing my body create happiness most immediately, and the mind and behavior follow. Just to give you an example of kind of the magical events that become possible when I go from this stressed and closed to this relaxed and open. When we were staying at the hotel, we had a pretty tight space, and every time I would try to get a bigger room, they would always be sold out, and it just wasn't working out. And I was really stressed and I was really trying, but the moment I relaxed, the moment I did this, I picked up the phone and in a very relaxed state, I said, "Hey, what's the room situation?" And immediately I got somebody who was so willing to help and said, "Yeah, we can move you to this room. It's much bigger. It has a full kitchen and a jacuzzi tub, and we're not going to charge you anything extra for the upgrade." Like, okay, thank you. In my vlog a couple of weeks ago, when I shared with you about this stressful situation that got us ultimately to move out of the home and live in the hotel, and having to do with my husband's health, I shared about the straw that broke the camel's back. For me, it was the interest that was charged on my credit card overnight in the amount of over $6,000, which was completely out of the norm for me and not at all aligned with how I roll financially. From a very stressed out state, as you might imagine, I tried to solve the issue, calling, demanding, complaining, and nothing was happening at all. I was hitting a wall. And once I started using the tools to step into the fullness of my life in the moment and relax, this new solution became available to me. I came across this the explanation of the law that had to do with issuing credit that this particular company did not abide by. And I connected with an agency who that oversees these regulations. I didn't have to fight. I didn't have to plea. I didn't have to do any pushing. I just explained the situation to them, and they went back to the company, and the company issued me full credit. Full credit. I didn't have to fight at all. So this is the magic of opening and unfolding. And I can go on, but I would love to hear from you when you start relaxing and when you shift from this state, the closed stress state, when you resist reality, to this state of opening and surrendering, allowing life to take you by the hand. What happens in your life? I would love to know. What miracles, what opportunities, how is your life different? For me, the biggest miracle is really life itself that becomes accessible to me when I'm open and present. A mindfulness teacher, Thich Nhat Hanh, once said, and I heard him say that at a retreat that I attended with him in 2009, he said, the miracle is not to walk on water. The miracle is to walk on earth. And when it really hits home with you, at least for me, it brings up so much joy, so much ecstasy. In the recent days, weeks since I started remembering to use the tools that I'm teaching you in my own life, I've been ecstatically enjoying the simple moments of everyday life, no matter what's going on. Just being around my family, just doing grocery shopping, just looking at people and connecting with people, and being so open and feeling so much warmth from everybody, including you. And what it brought up for me, something to look out for, that might be happening for you too, is the sense of regret or grieving for all this time that I was not present. I was not 100%. And it's not that I'm 100% now, but I'm much more there than before. And with this regret, there is this newfound motivation to keep going and to keep using the tools. And what also comes up very clearly is how strong this addiction to stress really is. And it is created by our culture that is telling us, do, more. And the more you're doing, the more you're going to be loved and accepted and successful. And we just don't give ourselves the permission to relax because there is this underlying, overarching cultural belief that relaxing is not productive and productive is not good. And if you're not good, guess what? You're not lovable and you're not worthy. And this is terrible. And this couldn't be further from the truth. The truth is that when we're closed and tense and stressed, no matter how productive and how much we may be doing, the value of that contribution may be so much less because we're not in touch with the source of our creativity. We're not being the clear channel to receive this inspiration. And when we are, we don't need to stress. We don't need to work so hard because things flow so much more easily. Please let me know what you think about it and what you notice from being stressed to being relaxed, when you're more productive and when you're more creative and when you feel more joy. So I look forward to sharing more with you about these cultural spells or addictions that we all fall under. Stress is only one of them. And the second one I've alluded to just now, I call this spell conditional love currency that is traded in our society from the moment we begin to understand what's going on, and it really never goes away. We're told how to be and how not to be, and we're made to feel that if we're being too much or not enough, or we have a wrong body type or wrong clothes or wrong friends or wrong income or live in the wrong neighborhood or aspire for wrong things, that we're not lovable, that we're not validated for who we truly are. And then what starts happening to us is that we start departing from who we truly are. We start departing from our life that is happening for us, that is just waiting for us to step in, waiting to take us by the hand so that it can become most joyful, happy, fulfilled, and abundant for us. But this cultural spell of conditional love is keeping us from accessing that current of happiness, fulfillment, and abundance. Please let me know what you think about that, and if you'd like to hear more, I am planning to share with you more about this spell and other spells. I have uncovered 7 of them in the course of my work as a therapist and a spiritual seeker and a yoga teacher, and also through my research, my doctoral research on transformation. And I can share that with you as well. But in the meanwhile, I would like to know what questions you need answered right now. Where do you feel you may be settling for less than your most fulfilled, happy, and abundant life? And what kind of support you sense you might need for breaking those spells, for using those tools, and for stepping into your true destiny. I hope my podcast, In Charge Show, will inspire you and offer you some tools, and we will definitely continue this conversation via vlogs. I look forward to reading and responding to your comments. Thank you